Hi guys, I'm Contrell. A lot of you know me as Kenny, and I'm gonna share a bit of my story today. I've struggled so much with my identity, and I can identify that starting as early as maybe like 6 years old, I don't know. I grew up in a household where there was a lot of arguing and a little bit of manipulation, and it really affected me early on. It happened so much I thought it was normal at that point, and eventually my parents got a divorce. I felt very neglected by my father, and I kind of learned that I had to try to prove myself to him. And, ooh, sorry. But yeah, I started going to my mom for everything. I had put the expectation on her to be both of my parents. And even in middle school, I was getting picked on about not having a father figure. This was like one of the hardest times in my life. I just had no male role model in my life. And this really affected me. I didn't know any of the guy things. I didn't really understand my masculinity. Like a huge chunk of my identity was just missing. So I started looking at pornography to cope, and the enemy really had this lens over my eyes because people were picking on me at school, calling me gay, and this had planted a seed in my identity. And so this word that was spoken over me, I started to partner with. I didn't even realize that I was partnering with it, but my need for a fatherly love or a male to love me like a father was taken, it was like stolen from me and perverted by the enemy. And so I started fetishizing this addiction almost. And I started agreeing with that identity spoken over me, calling myself gay. So during COVID, I started embracing it. I started, I officially came out, told my friends, told my mom. And I also started to develop really bad social anxiety, really bad suicidal ideations, depression. And it was really a tough time. I started looking into like the LGBT community to try to fill some void, adding more and more labels on myself. Oh, maybe I'm non-binary, maybe I'm gender fluid. I started like painting my nails and dressing more girly. I started forcing my voice to be more high-pitched, being someone that I wasn't, just trying to fit this stereotype. And it just left me more empty and unfulfilled. And then my junior year in high school, I got a random invite by one of my friends to Refuge Youth, and I was like, man, I really don't want to go. I'm just this gay kid. No one at the church is gonna want me there. But I still went because I went for my friend, and I was learning about Jesus and about who God is. And I had some understanding that God was real because of how I was raised, but I didn't know that I could personally know him. And something in my soul was like longing for more, and I had no idea what it was. It was unexplainable, but something wanted me to keep coming back. And we know now it was the Holy Spirit, but then my flesh was like, no, like I don't want to go. I hate it. I'm scared. But no, I kept going. And the more I went, the more captivated I became of the man Jesus. And it wasn't enough to just keep going to church. I had to start seeking him out in my room. And it was like in his word, like I fell in love. And even though like I was seeking so earnestly, I was still holding on to the world and still holding on to being gay and like all these things. Like I still wanted to live for the world and to live for Jesus. And one day randomly on YouTube, I found this video. It was titled, "I Was Gay Until Jesus Did This." I don't know why that was on my feed that day. It really shouldn't have been, but that was the day that God met me, and he decided to use a random video on YouTube to meet me, which is so crazy. And when I watched that video, I felt conviction for the first time, and it literally like flipped my world upside down, because I was like, man, like I can't have both of these lifestyles. I wanted to live a homosexual lifestyle, but I also knew at that time I couldn't live for Jesus with both. And I was trying to hold on to both, but the Holy Spirit was like, man, you gotta pick one. And I knew I wanted Jesus. I knew that he was the most fulfilling thing for me. I knew that he was everything that I needed. And so, and so in that moment, I was like earnestly praying, like, God, you're gonna have to change this. You're gonna have to do something in me. You're gonna have to put a stronger desire for you, because I know that I can't just like not like guys. Like, I just can't fix myself. And he met me in that. He stripped like the social anxiety away. He stripped the depression away. He stripped the suicidal ideations away. And it was only because I submitted to him. It wasn't anything that I did. It wasn't anything the church did. It's just because I let him. And so 2024, I gave my life to Jesus, like my whole life. It wasn't just this little prayer. It wasn't just like a cool worship moment. Like, no, I was like, let my life be worship. I decided to come to RDS, and the Lord really showed himself to be my perfect father. And he met me in so many different ways that he wouldn't have if I didn't let him. And he led me to have a good relationship with my father. Now he's led me to forgive him and to love him well. And so I just want to leave you guys with a question, and it's, what are you placing your identity in? And is it genuinely fulfilling you? Is it satisfying? Is it bringing you pure joy? Is it bringing you peace? And I'm gonna be real with you, if it's not Jesus, it's not satisfying. It's not gonna bring you real joy. It's not gonna bring you a real love. So yeah, that's my story. I'm gonna hand it off to Pastor Jay.